Hello, I am Lucas, and this is RICHCODE JavaScript. I personally have been doing JavaScript for, I would say, around 2 years now. It's kind of the language that I tend to focus on. So, let's get started. So, in this course, we'll of course be learning JavaScript, but for JavaScript to work, we need HTML because JavaScript is essentially a language for the web, and to use it, you need HTML. Which is basically the building structure of the web and web pages. I will also be teaching you to use some tools such as GitHub, Vercel, or Netlify. You'll see which works better later on in order to store your files and actually host your files so that people can see them and they can go to a website and see your content on that website. So for this course, you'll need a decent computer. It doesn't have to be fancy because we're not actually going to be running anything on it. We're going to be doing all the hosting from GitHub Codespaces. So there is one problem though, it cannot be school issued. It can't be your school Chromebook or your school like Windows computer because these usually they block lots of websites. So I do not know if Vercel, Netlify, or GitHub will work for you on this Chromebook and will be using Chrome DevTools. It's pictured there. Which most schools also block. So if you are on a school Chromebook, just try and get a regular computer and keep in mind that I will be using Chrome here, so I will be teaching you Chrome DevTools to debug. If you're not using Chrome, I would suggest you get Chrome and use it. If you already know how to use DevTools, you might be fine. So first of all, GitHub. So GitHub is basically this really large company that stores files with the Git system. The Git system helps you keep track of your files and what versions they've been through and what revisions you made to them. And it's also useful if you have two people working on a file at the same time so that they can merge the file and both of their changes will be included. So GitHub, they host the files, which means that they store them on their own servers. They keep the version control using Git, and you can integrate other apps, which we will be doing with Vercel and Netlify. And GitHub itself, they also have GitHub Codespaces, which helps you code, and GitHub accounts. We, like all of you need GitHub accounts. If you don't have one, raise your hand in Zoom. Okay. Anyone else? So, okay. Okay, then yes, I'll be teaching you guys how to make a GitHub account. So, first of all, I will, I am, I just slow down my account. So, okay, we will, so you want to go to github.com and then click sign up. And you'll need an email address so that GitHub actually knows which email. So Um, and GitHub requires a strong password, so make a strong password, right? So you can put your hands down if you've done what I've done so far. You can unraise your hands when you've done this much. If you have questions, just unmute and ask. Even Michael Liu, have you gotten where I have so far? Oh, okay. So, just do this real quick. And so for this, pick either student or working developer. I don't care how many team members will be working with you, just me, because it doesn't really matter because, okay, just honestly skip personalization. Stephen, I hope that answers your question. As so here we're at the GitHub homepage, and the next step we need to fork the code space that I will be teaching you guys with. So go to one of those URLs. I will send it in the chat. Go to that link and then click fork. So here I'm signed into the new account and I click fork, create fork. Okay, when you're clicking the fork button, don't click this little arrow. Click this big fork button. Oh, see, four of you have made a fork so far. Hmm. So again, fork is in the top right corner. Once you go to the link I sent in the chat, don't click on the little arrow, click fork, and then click the green button that appears afterwards. Okay, raise your hand if you're not done with this yet. So when nobody's raising their hand, so I'll assume that everybody has completed this step. Okay, now go click the left panel here and click on Codespaces. Now, I already have quite a few Codespaces. So on the left here, by repository, sorry. Click New Codespace, and then search for the for the rest repository that you just created. Has everyone gotten to the step yet? If you have not, please raise your hand. Or are you guys having trouble with something? Hey, Michael Liu, can you specify what you're having trouble with? Okay, wait. Okay, at your code spaces, you should have this new code space button right here. Um, don't make a blank code space. Okay, Chow, open the side panel and then click code spaces. You should be at this page and click new code space. Select the repository that you just created. It should be named your username slash richcode.js dash flag.
Problem? Oakland has too many guns. The solution? Offer $250 for every gun turned into the police. No questions asked. Sounds like a great idea. With the
Um, can you please mute? If that sounds, that does not sound like you speak to
states to sell their own shops that have been collecting gas.
Michael Leo, are you still having trouble? Oh, okay. Okay. Henry, I'm gonna go through this one more time, okay? So go to the link I sent in the chat, go up here, click fork, and then there should be a green button right around here that pops up. Click it, it says create fork or something like that. And then go to the side panel and click on Codespaces. And then click new Codespace. Select the thing you just forked, and then click create Codespace. And it should take a bit to set up your Codespace. This page does not really matter, it's just selecting your theme. Oh, Henry, hold on. Okay, so you want to open the static folder, project folder, and open one. So here is the page for your first project. This here is HTML. You see the file extension name is HTML. So what HTML is essentially is it basically tells the browser how to display text or images. It's I would say it's very similar to Google Docs, as in if I make a Google Doc, then here I can say make a title and like put something here, and then normal text, which is basically paragraph. I would like write something. I can paste in images if I want. So basically what HTML does is it lets you do that, but using just plain text. You can write plain text and then run it, and then people will see the fancy text. To make the web even more fancy, we also have CSS, which is basically the salad dressing on top of the salad. It makes HTML look really good. So every web page you have ever visited in your life, in Essentials, uses HTML to display whatever it displays. Unless you were doing this around 10 years ago and Adobe Flash was still around, but like we can neglect that for now because HTML5 is here. So, and then what JavaScript does is it allows the user to interact with the web page. For example, here I can click into this. I can it, say this is any other web page. See, it's also made with HTML. So if I open inspect and go to elements, this is all HTML. This is the HTML that GitHub Codespaces is made out of. So what JavaScript does it is that it basically allows you to interact with the web page. For example, I open this folder. JavaScript can detect when I click this square, this box right here, and it can open this panel when I click that box. So that is basically what is going on behind the scenes. If I go to any other website, say Google, and I click on feeling lucky, that is made with JavaScript. So anything that moves, anything that you can interact with, any game that you play, any, say, animation that's not made from a video, that's all made with JavaScript. So I will be teaching you guys HTML first because it is an essential to building block of the internet. So wait, one of us is not catching up so far, so I'm trying to see what's going on. Henry, it should just be the defaults. So when I open this repository, you should have forked one. So look for something that ends in RICHCODE.js dash static. If you want, you can unmute and tell me what's different. Because I have a really long list here. I don't think any of you should, because technically you should have brand new GitHub accounts. So you should just have this one repository. Just look for the one that ends in RICHCODE.js dash static and click it. The branch should be main region. It selected US West for me because I am on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast or in Europe, you can like select which one is closest to you because this the speed will be faster if the server is closer to you. Oh, so did you fork the repository yet, Envy? So you think you forked the repository, but you can't find it there? Um, Wait a second. So yes, you clicked fork. Did a green button pop up that says create fork, and did you click it? And did no errors show up, or did you have an error show up? Did you name the fork something else other than richcode.js dash static? Because, oh no, do not add a README. You don't need a README file. Do you see a page like this? Like, if you click the side panel over here in repositories, you should see something that ends in richcode.js dash static. Do you see something like that? For the sidebar, you should have this little square thingy with three horizontal lines here. Click it, and the sidebar should pop up. Okay, so you're here and you clicked RICHCODE static, right? Is this what you see? Oh, did you click this? Did you click blank or no, there's no static. Actually, I'm just gonna let you share screen so I can see what's going on, okay? Oh, okay. So you see it on the sidebar. So click on the sidebar again and go to Codespaces, okay? Are you there yet? Yes, click New Codespace and then select a repository and look for something that ends in rich.js dash static. Depending on what your username is, it will not say lwang dot dash 8k here. Uh, just leave them as is. If you want, you can copy mine if yours is not the same, but you should only have main here, and it doesn't really matter which one you pick here. This one, I'm pretty sure the other one that's take up more of your compute time, but whatever. Just take just copy mine if you want. If you already have ones preloaded in there, just use those. It does not matter much. And then click Create Code Space. Okay, are you here? Sorry, are you someone somewhere here? Can you okay. So I will just start with okay, then you should be good. So first of all, with GitHub Codespaces, when you want to start running your instance, go to the terminal and do npm start, and it should pop something up like that. And then go to the tab ports here, and that should open this. Now you can go to these links to see different projects. You can do you can use Control C. See, I just pressed Control C right there, gave me that, and it popped right back here, which means it stopped running. So in case something hap so in case something happens, just press Control C. Like maybe, oh, and if you want to clean this terminal up a bit, just type clear. It should be loading. Are you on a school Chromebook? So Henry, if you can stay over a bit, I will help you after class. For now, I think I need to start actually teaching something. So anyways, I will put this here. I'll let you take a moment and see what you observe. This is HTML code. And if you have observations, just pop them in the chat. It can be anything like you have less than and greater than signs everywhere. What kind of structures do you see? Just like pop them in the chat if you see anything. Okay. Any other observations other than there's a lot of blue words, which is actually a good one? Oh, object orient. Okay. Mm-hmm. These are all pretty good observations. It is actually not technically a scripting language, which means the browser does not run it. It interprets it and turns it into annotated text. But you're right in the that it kind of looks like an object, as in things are connected within each other. For the blue words, that's called syntax highlighting. It helps you see what is going on here. So imagine if all of this was white, you wouldn't be able to tell as much from it as if it was in blue and orange and light blue and gray and white. So this basically helps you see what's going on. For the head, yes, that's technically it isn't a header in the sense that it's up here, but it does store things like metadata. So good observations. Let's go on. So HTML elements. We saw before that we had a bunch of elements back there. One element is basically a starting tag, some content, and an end tag. That's basically all you have to have for an HTML element. What an element does, it is that it tells the browser what the content should be formatted like. So for example, on the right here, we have a B tag, which stands for bold. So this tells the browser that the text within the start tag and the end tag should be bolded. And the the B here and here are called the tag name. They have to match exactly. You can't have a starting tag with a B and a end tag with an A. You can't have stuff like that. So basically, the slash means that it's an end tag. So you're ending the content. The start tag does not have a slash. And the tag name determines what the tag is formatted like, what the content is displayed as. So there are a lot of HTML elements. These are just a few basic ones. H1, as we saw here, here's an H1. You see it made this text really, really big and bold. So that's called a header size 1. It's the largest size header, and it's used for things like titles, or in this instance, this is technically a header 1. So it's the title of this slide. Header size 2, it's a bit smaller. There's also header size 3, 4, 5, and I believe 6, but you don't tend to use those a lot. There's also P, which stands for paragraph. And what a paragraph does, the text inside will be kind of separated from the text or content above and below it by a new line. And it's usually good practice to enclose text in paragraphs. B or strong, it makes the text bold. So they're actually, these two in function, they do the same thing. But B means more of a just, it's bold. Strong means you're emphasizing a point. So for now, I would just say use the B tag because they essentially do the same thing. I or EM, it makes text italicized. Same thing. They do the exact same thing, but it's meant to mean different things when you read the code. So for now, just use the I tag. Div is a kind of all around, it can be anything. It just is a wrapper for whatever you want it to wrap. For example, if you have, say, this sidebar here, you can wrap it in a div. This box here, it might be a div. Actually, we can check if it is a div. So do this, see, it's a div. And I will actually check the sidebar here, and again, it is a div. So div is basically an all-around wrapper for just around anything you wanted to do. A is a hyperlink. So going back here, these are hyperlinks. If I click on it, it takes you to some website, although usually it opens in the same tab. And IMG basically makes an image. So if I find a page with an image here and then look at this, oh, never mind, they're using SVGs. So Google Docs might not obey that law so much. Let's see about here. Nope, still an SVG. Okay, let's move on. But the point is, if you want to link an image, you usually just want to use the IMG tag. So here's the thing about nesting tags. Nesting tags is putting a tag within another tag. So basically one element is within the content of another element. So see here, there's a bold element that's wrapping around this whole thing. It's in this gray box, right? And then inside I have an I tag, which makes it italicized. So you see this is just regular text. This here is just bolded. So it's in the B tag, but outside of the I tag. So it's just bolded, it's not italicized. Now, here, this is both bolded and italicized because it's within the B tag and within the I tag at the same time. And here's the ending tag for the italicized. So here, the italicized will end. And here, again, it's only bolded. However, you cannot really do something like this. If you want to say this is only bolded, this is both italics and bold, and this is only italics, this will not work. Let me track this out a bit, because you see the B tag ends here, but then an I tag starts here and it's not closed off. Like tag, just think of it this way. the tags are like boxes. You can't put one kind of half inside, half outside another. You can only put one all the way inside another. So if I actually run this and then go here, that is project one. So you see it kind of works in that the browser recognizes that I'm trying to do something there. But if I open this, you can see that it actually splits this into a bold with text in here and italics inside the bold, and then it ends the bold and starts a new italics. It does that because it recognizes that the I is not closed here, so it adds, so the browser will actually come in and add a closing I tag, and then it sees here that there's a closing italics tab, so it goes here and puts in a starting italics tag. But this is not good practice. If you go on older browsers or another browser, maybe say Firefox or Microsoft Edge, it might not work. So always nest tags as if they're boxes. One can only go inside the other. It can't be half inside, half outside. And now for the whole document structure. So here, the docutype HTML, it tells the browser that, yes, you're looking at an HTML file. It's good practice to put these in as it is in the HTML standards, although modern browsers, you can usually get by without putting one in, but it's always good practice to put one in. So just do it. The HTML tag encompasses everything, basically, that you're going to put inside this HTML file, other than the docutype HTML, because that's a special case. And then inside the HTML, you have two sections, the head and the body. So in the body, we're going to have everything that you can see from this corner all the way to this corner. So basically the web page as you think of it. Now, so if we go to the body here, see that it highlights in blue basically the whole screen, like the whole web page. If I go to the head, it does not highlight anything. But there's actually a lot of stuff in the head. So what goes on in the head is basically invisible. It's run before the body. The browser interprets the head before it interprets the body. And what the head does it, is that it loads in stuff that will be useful to the body, and it tells the browser things about the body. For example, it tells in the head there is an X icon link that tells the browser where to get this little icon here and what icon to display there, and the it tells the browser the title of the web page, which is basically what you put here and what basically this whole web page is called. Just keep in mind that you do not want to get a title and a header confused because they are actually very different things. So with that, we can like test it out. Oh, this is basically, we basically have 7 minutes left. So open the code space that you created, and then you should see something like this, uh, without, without any of this. So basically you should see this. Open the static folder, open the project folder, and go to project one. And then click into index.html. Now your task is to write a short article. It can be anything, even like flying bananas. But you have to use the tags P, which is again paragraph, E, bold, I, which is italics, and H1 and H2. basically add headers. And we will do that for, say, 4 minutes. Does everyone get that? And okay, so I'm starting the 4 minute timer, and we will check in once that is done. So open your code space and start coding. If you need any help, you can search it up. You can ask ChatGPT, although just don't ask ChatGPT to do this whole assignment for you because that would ruin the purpose. This is basically to help you learn. Uh, remember that code space you created a while back? Yeah, just if you have to, go to Codespaces. You should have it here now as Lwang, sorry, something other than lwang-ak/bridgecode js-static. Click on it, uh, and then click on whichever one you just created. There should be just one here. If there are two, just choose one and open the static folder, open the project folder, and open the one folder and click on index.html. And in the body, oh my, what happened here? Yeah, so that is not right. You cannot have a body inside the body. So do something like that. So you have 2 minutes and 27 seconds left now. Henry, is Henry still in this meeting? I do not think so. Okay. And also, if you have questions, you can just raise your hand and just ask me. Okay, so that's time. Do you guys need more time? Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay, so I think we're gonna run a bit late today. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get to. So on the bottom panel here, click terminal. If you don't see a bottom panel, like for example, I accidentally closed it, press Control and backtick. So the thing on the top left corner of your keyboard, right under escape, that should be backtick. Press Control backtick to open this panel. And I have it running right now. So let me do that. So npm start. Click enter and something like this should pop up. And then go to ports. You should have a link here. Click on it and then click project one. So here is my article as I just ran it. Does that answer your question? Okay, so that we just hit 10 a.m. So that's just about the end of today. Tomorrow, so next week we will be meeting on Saturday from 8:15 to 9:15, I believe. Oh, to save it auto saves for you, so you don't need to do anything. If you see the like, yes, 8:45 to 9:45. Sorry. Okay, to save, it basically auto saves for you if there are like yellow dots or M symbols, which means modified, by the way. You don't need to worry about that because it just means that you have not saved the changes to the GitHub repository so far, but it saves the code space for you automatically. So you do not need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about saving. Next week we might share some of the codes we created, depending on how much time we have next week. So yeah, that's it for today. Bye. You can leave now.